This is Pete chiseling. He's a chiseler. You gotta get that rod out of there. And we're using an old chisel that I've had forever. I use it for this kind of work because I don't want to do any damage to a brand new chisel when it hits that steel rod. Anyway, we're gonna get the rod out. This is how we do it. This is Pete. Seeing this. This is your base you just paid $60 billion for. Florian, I can assure you when you see this, everything is going to be okie dokie. It'll be better than what it was because what it was wasn't working. It looked nice. We were all thrilled by the way the thing looked. It was the finish was great. Everything was on it. It looked great. But, you know, if it ain't working, it ain't working. And that should be it. Yeah. You want to grab it with a pair of pliers?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Okay. And this is what we have now. The rod's out. And the next thing you're going to put a couple bars up. And
Gonna router it out, yeah.
yeah, he's going to lay a couple bars down here and square it up, get this in and just route it out, and then chisel the corners and fit the other neck. The other neck will probably be like a slightly different size, I'm sure. It won't be exactly the same.
Actually,
But
I think it's pretty exact.
pretty close, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay. On to the next stage.
We're on.
Okay, we're back at the ranch, so to speak. This is the next stage. You saw us cutting the neck off, cutting the rod off, and then Pete chiseling out the rod. Now we set up the bars, and where is the router, Pete?
This right here.
Let me just show them what. In case some people don't know what a router is. This is a little, what they call a trim router. We use it for almost everything here because it's easy to handle. It's lightweight, and what we did was Pete would lay down all the bars, exactly what he's going to route out in here. You're going to take all this wood out. And the reason we set up the bars is because this cutter, as you can see here, has a bearing on it. And the bearing is going to ride on the bars so we don't end up cutting into the base and the other part. It'll follow these bars, in other words. So when you turn the router on, he's just going to go down and take all this out, and then and square up the ends with the chisel, and then we'll put the other neck in. And that should be pretty much it. So Pete will hand me the camera, and I'm going to film him routing a little bit. But this thing makes a lot of noise, so I'm not going to do too much of that. Just enough to show you what it's like, and then I'm going to go out to lunch with my friend Dave. I met Dave, where was it? Amon's. His little bar up on Montague Street. I was there one time. And he was sitting next to me, and I didn't know him. And I think one of the girls that works there, I handed her some chocolate. I've been handing chocolate out. That's one of my things I do in this hood. And Dave made a comment. He says, that's how you make out with all the babes. You got your chocolate man. I says, yeah, well, we started talking, and then we started talking. How long ago was that, Dave?
3-4 months ago.
Yeah. And I told him I was a musician, and Dave's new in the hood. And they became friends. This guy shows up almost every Sunday where I play anytime. And it's the first time down at the shop. He wanted to come down and see how we do things, and he just happened to come down on a day when we were really doing things, you know. I mean, we're really doing it. Anyway, ready for some noise and some dirt. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first cut. It's going to take small cuts because you don't want to go in there and try to take the whole thing out at once. You'd end up with a disaster on your hands. But you can see the difference here already starting to level out. Eventually this will all come out. And that'll be that. Then we'll put the new neck in and we'll be back on track. And like I said before, sorry that it happens, but it does. It does happen, and we're going to take care of it. And when this is all done, I mean, Florian never saw the base anyway, so he doesn't know. But I'm glad I'm doing this, and he can really see, you know, what we went through to get this thing formed. And I think I mentioned this before. And, the only person I ever made a base for was myself. I've never made a base for Stanley Clark. I never made one for Les Claypool. I never made any guitars for Lou Reed. I never did that. I made them for me. Because my standards, I will not. It has to be something that I would want. It has to be that. And you know, every one of these instruments, they're made for me. And then I sell them so I can pay the bills and pay people to help me do it and do what I do. But I really do make the instruments here. I wouldn't want that thing to go out any other way. So Florian, when you get this bass, it's going to be the very best that we can do. That's for sure. Okay, I'm going to go have lunch, and then Pete, you can just go ahead and finish routing, I guess. Okay? All right, I'll see you guys.